Mark Steyn joins us, author, journalist, fills in for Rush Limbaugh.
And that is great grass. That's better than centre court at Wimbledon. I don't like to walk across the AstroTurf when I come across.
I saw you checking it before. I saw you out there.
Beautifully manicured. Beautifully manicured.
So we've been covering Hillary Clinton going off the rails and blaming everyone but herself. We've got a montage of things she said yesterday. Take a listen.
My email account was turned into, the biggest scandal since Lord knows when. This was the biggest nothing burger ever. It was a mistake. I've said it was a mistake, but the way that it was used was very damaging. I know you had Dean Baquet here from the New York Times yesterday, and they covered it like it was Pearl Harbor. It was always a hard issue to put to bed, but we put it to bed in July, and then it rose up again. I inherit nothing from the Democratic Party. It was bankrupt. It was on the verge of insolvency. Its data was mediocre to poor, non-existent, wrong. I had to inject money into it.
This is the DNC.
The DNC to keep it going. He really understands how to inflame people, how to motivate them, how to bond with them over whatever their grievance is. Whatever resentment or point of anger that you may have, if he can get into it, whether it's race or sex or xenophobia or anti-Islamophobia, whatever it is.
Mark, where do we start on this?
Well, my favorite bit was when she blamed the crack Macedonian operatives who were, apparently it makes more sense to spend $200 on crack Macedonian operatives than spend $1 billion on John Podesta and all the rest of it. Apart from the Macedoniaphobia, I thought it was pathetic. The rap on Trump as he was campaigning, we were talking about it beforehand, was that he just stumbled around, he didn't know what he was doing.
No plan.
Now we're told that apparently it was all this crack data mining operation that Trump had that said, there's a swing county in Ohio that's really just itching for a terrific John McCain joke right now. And the idea that this is the guy who won by basically tearing up the rule book, they can't believe it.
Do you realize as she went through everything, she was going through the deplorable list?
Right.
Remember the big mistake she made?
Yeah.
She was doing it again. She says he touches the underbelly of America.
She believes it.
Well, she's also insulting those people again.
Yeah, I know. And the idea is it can't be a genuine connection because these rubes are too stupid. They have to have been suckered into falling for Trump. The fact is, it's not even a Democrat-Republican thing. You could see when last time round that Obama, whatever you felt about him, connected with the people he spoke with in a way that Mitt Romney, it didn't come naturally to him.
Absolutely not.
This time round, Hillary didn't connect. People left a Hillary rally, which is an oxymoronic term, more depressed than when they went in.
The thing that I walked away from her blaming the DNC, because of course she's going to blame other people. She says her server, that's a nothing burger. I didn't win because of the Trump people and the deplorables, the underbelly. But then she said the DNC was bankrupt. And thanks to me, the DNC exists because I was funding it. I was injecting money. Does this hurt the Dems?
Well, it hurts them insofar as the only reason, the idea that some Saudi prince gives Bill Clinton $2 million for a speech on diarrhea in Africa so that Hillary can then give the $2 million to prop up the DNC. At the time, we were told that the DNC had the great ground game, the great data mining, and Trump had no ground game. He was just winging it, and again, it's the complete opposite of everything they said at the time.
And did she really believe that the server's a nothing burger? Does she really say, this is just me using...
She did.
Well, by the way, kafifi is Russian for nothing burger.
Right.
That's what Trump's given the game away there. Yeah.
All right. Les, I just want to bring this up. She also, when asked, why did you give those speeches to Goldman Sachs? Right. She goes, why? Oh, they were asked, a man can do it, but a woman can't. What is that? Really? It's sexist now? What are you talking about?
No. Again, it's this disconnect. She was a terrible candidate. There's places where the wife of the previous guy runs for president, and they're banana republics. I got nothing against women leaders. I'm not a sexist. Canada's had a woman prime minister. Britain's had 2. Australia's had 1. New Zealand's had 1. Germany, Scandinavia, all the rest of them. The difference is they weren't entitlement candidates who felt they were entitled to be the head of government.
There's a big difference. Well,
today at 3 o'clock in the Rose Garden, the President of the United States is going to give us his decision on whether we stay in this Paris Climate Agreement with almost 200 other nations. What do you think he's going to do?
I would love it if he were to pull out, because to me this sums up the absolute decadence of the political class. You know, if you're blown up at an Ariana Grande concert, the Mayor of London and the Prime Minister of France say, get used to it, that's just the way it is, we can't do anything about it. But if you want us to lower the thermostat of the planet by 1/3 of a degree in the year 2100, that we can do.
Spending trillions.
Yeah, spending trillions to do it. It's bonkers. Fix the Ariana Grande problem. You should be able to do that, and if that works out, then adjust the planet.
Is that the perfect dichotomy of the future, that you've got the left calling conservatives climate deniers, but conservatives pointing and saying, well, of course, you're Islamist deniers.
Right, right. And in 2100, I think in 2100 we'll know who was right. Those of us who worried about what's happening at things like the Ariana Grande thing, or those who worried about the planet will be fine. It'll shrug off your SUV and your air conditioner without a thought, as it has for thousands of years.
But we have seen what China is. That is a country that's ignored all type of pollution regulations or common sense. We don't want that, but we're not there. Now, people on the flip side will say, listen, if the U.S. stays in, they'll be able to make sure people don't go off the ledge with severe economic principles.
Listen to this, and we'll get your reaction.
It would send to the rest of the world a message that the United States does not care about this planet that we all share.
This is no longer, oh, he's doing his thing. This is endangering the world.
If we stand alone to face this global crisis, it's more than reckless. I mean, we are really endangering the planet, the American people, and our economy at a really fragile stage.
We're fragile.
It's a ridiculous, it's not a serious agreement, and neither was Kyoto. And as far as I'm aware, the only country that actually took Kyoto seriously was New Zealand, and they tried to honor it, and it nearly bankrupted them, so they had to pull out. All the other people just went along as a joke, and the joke gesture politics is what Trump ran against. Trump is supposed to be the guy who stands up against these pathetic joke international gesture attitude.
Is there a big risk if he does stay in it? Is there a political risk for him if he does stay in it after he ran against it?
I think there is, because this isn't even a tough call. It's a meaningless agreement. It's a poser agreement. It's actually one of the worst things about what you might call the European unionization of the world, where leaders just strike attitudes and stand there looking pleased with themselves. You know, well, that's what it is. That's the full Kafifi right there.
That's the full nothing burger.
That's right.
Stepping back, why is climate change the religion of the left?
I think precisely because it is so meaningless. Because if you say to them, oh, let's enforce the border, what, are you out of your mind? We can't. That's just a natural phenomenon. We couldn't enforce the border. People are going to be coming in anyway. But if you say to them, well, we can control the very heavens, you know, that we can do, and it's actually literally insane. The less it has to do with your life, the more the left is invested in it,
and the more spending it requires.
Yeah.
And control.
Thank you
so
Mark.
much. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, good job, Mark.